Hello everyone, today I wanted to share with you my favorite music that I discovered in 2023. My metric for this basically is music that has been released in previous years that I just got around to this year and I ended up really enjoying. And this should be my last video of the year if everything goes to plan, so let's just get into it. So first up, I wanted to talk about Aretha Franklin's Amazing Grace album, the gospel album, which is the best-selling gospel album of all time and richly deserved. I'd highly recommend the entire thing because I think it's just that great of an album, but if I want to name check a couple songs, definitely gotta give it to the medley Precious Lord Take My Hand. Also really loved How I Got Over, You'll Never Walk Alone, and Never Grow Old. But what a fantastic piece from Aretha overall. Then I tapped into the Sparkle album. My favorite songs on this, Look Into Your Heart, is just amazing, especially that one vocal that she has. And if you listen to the song, you know exactly which one I'm talking about, but I really love that song. Sparkle, the song, is amazing, of course. And then I also really loved I Get High. I believe that's the one that had the kind of Grease vibe that I really like. Off of the Aretha album from 1980, my favorite song is School Days. Off of Love the Hurt Away, my favorite song is the title track, great vocal. Off of Jump to It, I really love the title track. I think it's a really fun album. Luther produced pretty much this entire thing if I'm not mistaken. Also really love Just My Daydream. I think it's a really tasteful piece on the album. Great album, by the way. Off of Get It Right, my favorite songs are definitely going to be Every Girl Wants My Guy, I Wish It Would Rain, and Better Friends and Lovers. I think that this is a great album. I really enjoyed my time with it and I want to listen to it more this upcoming year. Off of Aretha's Jazz, I'm pretty sure it's a compilation. My favorite song was Just Right Tonight. Off of Aretha 1986, my absolute favorite song is Jimmy Lee. Ended up in my top songs for the year. I love it to pieces. Amazing vocals, especially the ending. Yeah, stuck in my head. And He'll Come Along. I will say with Aretha that I actually found out there's like 6 albums of hers that she released, but for some reason they're not on streaming platforms. I think that some of them are on YouTube. I would like to do reactions to them. I'm not sure when to do those because I'm kind of trying to do it chronologically. So maybe after I finish everything else I should do them, or should I do them for my next things? I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you guys would like to see in terms of that. But I definitely want to tap into that because that's just some fascinating lore that I would really like to get into. I was hoping to listen to more Aretha albums this year than I actually did, and I do apologize for not being as consistent with that as I would have liked. I really wanted to get an Aretha video out every single month for you guys. This next year I'm going to try to be more consistent with it, and I really do want to finish her discography. But with that all being said, I had a really great time continuing my journey on her discography. I'd highly recommend listening to her if you haven't already. And for most of these, and for a lot of the ones that I'm talking about in today's video on my favorite music that I discovered, I've actually done reactions to them, and I'll try to link them down below in the description if you would like to check them out. Okay, so with Kelly Clarkson, I've listened to a couple of her albums before. I really liked the Christmas albums and stuff. I have a few videos of that. And this was the year where I figured it was time for me to kind of fill in the gaps of the albums that I hadn't gotten to, and let's get into it. So first off, we're starting with the Thankful album, which I quite enjoyed. My favorite songs on here are Miss Independent. This is a song that Christina Aguilera wrote, and then she gave it to Kelly Clarkson. She finished it up. I think it's a great kind of statement piece on the album. I really did enjoy it. Also really loved What's Up Lonely. I think that it's a really nice track, and You Thought Wrong is definitely going to be a highlight for me on this album. Next up is her sophomore album, Breakaway. Now, I already did listen to this, I believe, in 2021. I definitely gave it a couple more spins this year, and so my favorite song on this album is definitely going to be Walk Away. I just really enjoyed the vocals. I enjoyed the statement piece, of course, and then it has like 4 hit songs front loaded on this thing, so it's a cute album. I want to do a video on it in the future, and probably a video ranking her discography at some point, hopefully this next year, so I'll kind of go more into detail with my thoughts on it. Next up is My December, so this one tends to be a fan favorite. My favorite songs on this, 1 Minute, I thought that it was a really interesting track to listen to, and I thought it was super cool. Also, Maybe, I feel like is a really underrated song on her discography, and I'm glad that she has some appreciation for it, so I really do love that song for sure. One of my favorite songs by her, if I'm being honest. And then Irvine and Chivas is definitely a highlight for me on this album as well. Now on to her 4th album, All I Ever Wanted. Favorite records on this, My Left Foot Slick Without You. I've always known the song, always loved it, and I wish whenever she did it live, she did it in the key that she sang it on the album. Every single time she lowers the key, and that's probably just for voice preservation. I understand that, but you know, I really enjoy the song. Next up, I Do Not Hook Up. Gotta give Katy Perry her 10s for writing this. It's a bop. And then last up, Tip of My Tongue. I just think that it's a really interesting track to listen to with the production and the vocal delivery and all that. Okay, so the Stronger album, I don't really like it. I'll expand upon that in a video I do later. I am sure of that. My favorite songs in these are the ones that I already knew going in. What Doesn't Kill You Makes You Stronger and Mr. Know-It-All. Peace by by piece definitely has some great moments on it, has some iffy moments. My favorite songs on this, Bad Reputation. It's such a cool song to me, kind of gives bootleg Crazy in Love by Beyonce, and that's absolutely no shade, but I just really love the vocals, I love the confidence, how she owns the song. Gotta be one of my favorite songs in her discography. I feel like it's a gem. I feel like unfortunately it is overlooked, but I really do enjoy this song. And then Nostalgic as well. Piece by Piece, the song is also great for what it's worth. And then rounding out the Kelly Clarkson albums for me is the Meaning of Life album. Now I have a whole video on this if you guys would like to check it out. And so my favorite songs in this, Love So Soft, just a really great dynamic opener. She really shows what she's able to do vocally. Also really love Heat, and yeah, just the harmonies and how the song builds up. Yeah, phenomenal track. And last up, Meaning of Life. I think that it's a great title track. I'm glad that Kelly was like, I want to do another R&B album, because the result is amazing. Next up, Tina Turner, Private Dancer. So quick shout out to Michaela for telling me to listen to this album. She was very much adamant that I check it out. I'm really glad that I did. And so yeah, this is an amazing album, one of the best comeback albums of all time. Tina did what she had to do, and especially being a black woman doing rock music and just paving the way in the way that she has, I feel like she doesn't really get enough credit for that. But Queen of Rock and Roll. And so my favorite songs in this, obviously the hit That You Are, What's Love Got to Do With It. I knew it before going in, still love it, of course. I really like her renditions of I Can't Stand the Rain and Let's Stay Together. Great vocals on there. I really like the grit that her voice has. Private Dancer is just a super cool song, and also Steel Claw, but the entire album is fantastic. I'd highly recommend checking it out. Okay, now time to talk about Britney Spears. Yes, I technically listened to her discography before, and I really do want to re-rank her albums because her albums kind of hit me in a different way this year. I don't really know what it is. Maybe it's because like I'm getting older and just life and everything, but I appreciate her discography a lot more than I did in the past. The albums that I think I listened to from her the most this year, first off, the Britney album. Now, I have always loved this album. I think I appreciate it a little bit more this year. I'm Not a Girl, Not Yet a Woman, definitely. Cinderella is my favorite Britney Spears song of all time, as I said multiple times over. Bombastic Love, Anticipating. You also have songs such as I Run Away, which is just different in her discography. It feels truly real, and I really loved that song. So a lot of hits on that album. Then I have to give a nod to the Blackout album, probably her best album. I think that it's super consistent. I feel like I'm appreciating Piece of Me more than I ever have. Give Me More is a skip for me, but it's not a bad song. I think it's just really repetitive. You got underrated songs like Heaven on Earth and Toy Soldier, which definitely deserve a lot more appreciation than they get. And Why Should I Be Sad is like a top 3 Britney song for me. So I have a lot of high praise for this album. It's been in my rotation pretty heavy this year. And also the Circus album. I feel like this is really underrated. People always want to play in its face. But whenever I did a versus on Twitter versus the Blackout album, everyone was like, oh, this is kind of hard. I could have told you that because this album has a lot of gems and people don't want to appreciate it, but I will. Unusual You is one of my favorite Britney songs of all time. She ate Kill the Lights, and we need to have that conversation more often. Out From Under, I think, is a really underrated song on here and throughout the discography. I'm pretty sure that this is a cover, but I really appreciate what it adds onto this album. I just feel like it's really on the nose for what she was going through at a respective time, and I just really love her vocal performance and what she was able to kind of bring into it. Kind of like the I Run Away for this album, respectively. Just a really fun pop album, and you know, a transition from Blackout to Circus definitely needs to be studied. Britney's the princess of pop, and I feel like a lot of times whenever we're talking about iconic music and, you know, artists and stuff like that, and her name gets brought up, a lot of people just go straight to ridiculing her, and I just think that that's ridiculous because she's been through so much in life, and the fact that she's even still going every day, I have to give kudos to her because she's just a really strong person. And there's a reason why all the record companies in the early 2000s were trying to have their version of Britney Spears. Her personality, her star power cannot just be put on anybody. No, she's truly a special, you know, performer, artist, person, and I really do believe that. And so this next year, one of my big goals definitely is to re-rank the discography and everything, but I just think that she deserves a lot more respect than she gets because, you know, she's had hit after hit after hit. She's been a great performer. I think that her singing voice is underrated. You know, I think she was a good singer for what it's worth. Once you really get into Britney's discography and just realize all the hits that she has, all the great album tracks and just moments, and realize what a genius she is, and of course shout out to those who she's worked with, from, you know, the songwriters to the producers, because they make a huge difference. You just become a different person. You just do. She makes music for the girls. She makes music for everyone, for that matter. And there was like a period this year where she just had me in a chokehold. I was listening to her all the time, multiple songs on my Spotify Wrapped, and rightfully deserved. I just hope that she gets more of the respect that she deserves in the future. Next up, wanted to give a shout out to Anthony Hamilton, Best of Me. This is a song that I heard my cousin playing, and I just think that it is an amazing song overall. Really great R&B soul track. I'd recommend listening to it if you haven't already. Like, this is a song that you listen to and it just puts you in such a good mood for the rest of the day, and he just has a really soothing voice, so I quite quite enjoyed it. Next up, gotta give a shout out to Avril Lavigne, What the Hell. I may have heard the song in the past, but I honestly don't remember it. And whenever I listened to the song, I was like, oh, this is pop perfection. Shout out to Max Martin and Shellback. Hit after hit after hit. Avril did what she needed to do. Songwriting is great, and so I wanted to mention this one because just well done on all fronts. Next up, I gotta talk about this KT Turnstall song, Suddenly I See. Now, I knew this one since I was a kid. There was this game I used to play on the Nintendo DS. I don't remember what it is for the life of me, but what I do remember is this song. I have always loved this song. And then I was on a Twitter space, shout out to Travis, because he name checked this song, and I was like, you know what, I actually know it. And I listened to it, I was like, oh my god, like, I love this song. I've been trying to find it for the longest time. Just such joy radiates from it, and I really appreciate the sentiment. You know, basically she was, you know, feeling inspired and everything. Suddenly I see why the hell it means so much to me. The production, I really like the bridge, and yeah, the nostalgia this one brought me is just unbelievable. I'm glad I finally found this song because I really thought that I just like lost it somewhere in the void, but I love it too much to not mention it. Next up, I have to give it to Everything Is Love by the Carters, aka Beyonce and Jay-Z. I'm a huge Beyonce fan, just now got to the album this year. I'm glad that I did because I've had so much fun listening to it. I think that they're both at top form respectively, and my favorite songs on this, I already knew Ape Shit, but you know, really enjoyed listening to it this past year, I will say. Also gotta give the shout out to Boss, and I just really love the confidence on that track for sure. Really wanted to name check Nice because that one lyric, if I gave two fucks about streaming numbers, would have put Lemonade up on Spotify. Oh, she ate. Yeah, they both did exactly what needed to be done. A lot of great lyrics all over this thing, and I think that it's aged pretty well, so I quite enjoy this album and I wanted to give it the nod. Next up, there's a song called Every Summertime, which I actually heard on TikTok. I'm pretty sure this was released last year, didn't hear about it till this year. I just think that it's a really soothing song, quite enjoyed it. Next up, I have My Love Is Your Love by Whitney Houston. Apparently I've listened to it before, but I completely forgot about it and I kind of rediscovered it this year, if you will, and this is probably her best album. So favorite tracks on this, It's Not Right But It's Okay, obviously iconic. I love the ad-libs at the end. I love her look for the music video and like that black bop. That was certainly a moment. And then also I really quite enjoyed Heartbreak Hotel with Faith Evans and Kelly Price. I think that it's super cool, and especially the music video look. Yeah, they ate. Oh Yes is something that I feel like is underrated. I also really loved In My Business, of course. You guys know that If I Told You That is one of my favorite Whitney Houston songs of all time, like top 2 for sure, so definitely gotta give that one some love. Of course, I would be remiss if I didn't mention When You Believe with Mariah Carey, my favorite singer of all time. They did phenomenal. I'm glad that they have a song together, and I think Whitney's mission of kind of having something that was more, you know, for the time this album was really accomplished, and so I quite appreciate this. I think that there's a lot of highlights on it. Next up, Megan Thee Stallion, Traumazine, and so obviously I've already heard like Plan B and Anxiety kind of going into this thing, and I really did enjoy those tracks respectively and what she was able to bring to it just in terms of her delivery and wordplay. I thought that it was just, you know, great tracks and 2 of those. And so other songs that I really enjoyed of this album, Flip Flop was a really great record, and I also really quite enjoyed Star featuring Lucky Day as well. Gotta give an honorable mention to Budget featuring Lotto. And Lotto's come so far for me because you guys know I dragged her multiple times, but you know, I will admit that she can rap. You know, she has some good verses, I will say. Not everything is my favorite, but I come a long way in her, so you know, gotta give her a 10 for that because her verse actually was good on the song. And then Ungrateful featuring Glock, but I just listened to the part before he comes in because I don't really care for his verse. And honestly, I feel like some of Megan's songs don't really need features. Like Don't Stop featuring Young Thug, why was he on the song? He had nothing to it, he ruined the song, but you know, I digress. But yeah, I enjoyed this album a lot. You know, I think that it was a good listen, and we had some personal moments on here, so I just really appreciate her vulnerability, I appreciate her style, I appreciate her confidence, and she's one of my favorite rap girls out right now for sure. Speaking of Glock, wanted to give a quick shout out to his song Sin 6, another one that my cousin put me onto. That is a fun listen. Next up, Christina Aguilera Stripped. Some of you guys might be wondering, how is Christina even here? You dragged her in the last video. That last video was recorded months ago, and I do like her music, as I said multiple occasions. You know, it is what it is. This album actually was pretty good. You know, I started listening to this at the beginning of the year because my friends were like, oh, you need to tap in, and then I didn't finish the album. And then one of my other friends was like, oh, you need to finish the album, and then he said that he would listen to Rainbow for me, and he did, and he liked a few records off that. Some of my favorite songs of this, obviously, I knew Fighter going in. I think that that's a great song, and I also really liked Walk Away. It was a really jazzy affair. I thought it was super cool. Underappreciated, definitely got to be a favorite for me. She definitely chewed. I'll give her 10s for that one as well. And then the last one that I wanted to shout out is Get Mine, Get Yours, but good sophomore effort nonetheless, and hopefully a review is coming out 2024 for this album. The last one that I'll mention in today's video is Christina Aguilera's Back to Basics. Is this good? Stripped? Definitely not. However, you know, I walked away with some songs that I really enjoyed, so obviously I knew the singles going in, and I love all of them. So basically Hurt, I think it's a phenomenal song vocally, so that's already a favorite. Candyman, I think is a super fun song song to listen to off the gate. I always liked Ain't No Other Man, so we're going in with some positives. Album tracks that I really liked back in the day, I thought was a super cool song, and I really liked Oh Mother. I thought it was very deep and heart-wrenching song for sure. I liked On Our Way, and the last song that I'll mention is Without You. So cute moments on here, kind of inconsistent record. I walked away with a few songs that I liked. I think it's way too long of an album, but you know, wanted to kind of talk about it here. Alright, that is going to be it for my favorite music that I discovered in 2023. I will say I did not do nearly as much music discovery as I would have liked, and one of my big goals for 2024 is to get into more artists, to do some more videos for you guys and artists that I've never gotten into, because I think it's more fun that way and to expand my musical knowledge. But you know, these are the ones I really enjoy. Let me know if we have any overlap this year. Let me know who your favorite, you know, artist or albums that you discovered this year are down below in the comments, because I would love to read them. I wanted to know, do you guys enjoy these style of videos, the voiceover? Do you not like them at all? Do you prefer when I'm actually in the video? Does it not matter to you as long as the content in the video is engaging? Let me know down below in the comments, because I want to know what you guys want to see. For these, it's a little bit more convenient for me to do them. I like being in the videos as well, but I just want to know what you guys think about this. But yeah, this is going to be my last video for the year, and I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for supporting my videos, whether you have been subscribed from the beginning of this year or you just subscribed last week. I just appreciate all the engagement, all the likes on my videos, all the comments. If you shared a video to somebody else, everything really means the world to me, because this is a huge passion for me and I want to keep doing this for as long as I can. And so I just want to say thank you guys so much for the support this year. It means a lot to me. This is my most successful year yet on the channel, and I don't take anything for granted. And I also wanted to say thank you guys so much for the support on my second channel as well. We've hit over 300 subscribers on there, which is a huge goal, and honestly my goal for the year was 200, so to hit 300 is amazing. And to do that with a bunch of ideas that I've been like coming up with kind of, and then stuff that I've seen, and just, you know, turn that into something really means a lot. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much, and I have a lot of ideas coming up for 2024 that I can't wait for you all to see. But that's gonna be it for the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy it, give it a like down below. It helps me out a lot on YouTube algorithm. I very much appreciate it. You guys can also subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. If you hit the bell, you get a notification to your phone when I post and have some brand new videos come out. First link down below in the description will be my second channel. I've been posting on there every day for a bit, and recently I've just been sharing a lot of my TikToks on there, but I don't share all of them because I think that that'd be overwhelming. If you want to see all of them, definitely go follow me on TikTok, which will be linked down in the description. I also have a second account on there as well, and so definitely check me out on there. I'm also going to have my Twitter accounts that I'm active on every single day, my Instagram account, my Spotify, if you guys like to follow me there. Last links to educate guys on important situations. Free Palestine, very important. If you want to donate to the cause, I'll have a link down below. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next